Good day, everyone. This is Wanda Farrar, the president of Farrar Inc. and principal broker for both Metropolitan Living and Beach Living Realty Groups. So, I'm here with an update, and this is to announce our June 2024 MLRG Life and Style June tour stop. And it's hard to believe we almost finished the half of the year and we're already 1 week into June. Normally I try to do this at the beginning of the month, but it's been a lot going on. Way too much going on, but it's good. So anyway, our tour stop for this month is a book discussion. And the book is entitled Before the Mayflower. I don't know if any of you have read that book. One of my friends said, I gotta get the book. And then she had the actual book and sent me a picture of it. So it is actually a good book. So it's talking about the history of African Americans. And it's actually telling you more realistic history than you may have received in your school education, and even maybe some stuff you didn't know or things that your parents may have tried to teach you about. But this is consolidated, and I think it starts from 1619 until 1962. I'm not sure the dates, but it's quite some time that's covered. It was a good listen. I listened to the whole book. It started out a little slow for me, but then it started getting good. I wanted to know more about some of the things that, because they talked about, like, Black people were not passive. They were trying to gain their freedom. Just like the fathers of our country were trying to gain their freedom from Britain, Africans were trying to gain their freedom from the American people here that had conquered them and enslaved them. And so it is a good history. It includes many people that were on a journey for freedom. And we continue this journey. So this book is a good history of our American journey here. And I'm looking forward to discussing it. The date is Sunday, June the 23rd. It's at 2 o'clock. That's normally when we have our book discussions on Sundays at 2. So it's June the 23rd. The information will be on the page if you want to register. It's through Eventbrite, or you can always go to our page. All of the tour stops are on our website, as well as there's a 2024 collection in Eventbrite for the MLRG tour stops. So feel free to join us. That should be a great discussion. We also will have our next business meeting. And so the business meeting is tailored to things that help those of us who are in the real estate industry. And so information about real estate is relevant to most of us. We all need somewhere to live, don't we? And our speakers typically will address some good topics. Anything from mortgage options to home inspections to legal situations. And so the topic is risky business in the mid-year reset. So July is the second half of the year. So that's when we start to look at our goals and see whether we're still on track, whether we just made some decisions to do something different. But it's a check-in. You can always adjust your goals. So if you want to join us for our mid-year reset, and we'll be talking about risky business practices and ways that you can avoid them, tips on how to just be cognizant of how you behave in your business so that you don't suffer repercussions for missteps. So that will be July the 10th at 6 o'clock. And just reach out to one of us if you need the meeting information. And last but not least, Party Mode Live is back in session. They took a hiatus, and so they're back. And so if you have enjoyed the various artists and professionals and musicians that have joined their work their Wednesday nights between 8 and 10. The music, the DJs. Feel free to jump in on that. So we will be bringing back Ask the Broker. So I'll be back on. I haven't gotten the dates yet, but they will be coming. So stay tuned. And I love to be able to address some real estate issues with the audience and ask questions or reach out to people afterwards if the situation is very specific. So anyway, I hope you are having a great week thus far, and please enjoy your weekend. Bye. Good day, everyone. This is Wanda Farrar, the president of Farrar Inc., principal broker for both Metropolitan Living and Beach Living Realty Groups. And today is the 2024 MLRG Life and Style June Tour Stop, and it is a book discussion. The title of the book is Before the Mayflower by Lerone Bennett, and many of you may have heard of it, may have read it. If I have, it was good for me. If I had, because I don't remember it. I mean, I sort of remember it, but I was able to listen to the entire book. It was really good. Started out a little slow, but then I really started enjoying it. And ironically, I attended a Juneteenth event on Wednesday, and that was one of the things they brought up was Before the Mayflower, how important the book has been for many in understanding Africans in America and the history. I'm going to open up the discussion with a few videos, and let's see if I can play.
Your child needs these 3 key factors to get into an Ivy League or top 25.
The White Lion was a privately owned armed vessel commissioned and manufactured in England in late August of 1619 under the command of Captain John Colin Joe. The ship held a cargo of 20 slaves. The White Lion brought the first Africans to Point Comfort, an English settlement that is today Fort Monroe in Hampton, Virginia. This happened before the Pilgrims arrived on the Mayflower. This is African American History is American History.
As we celebrate Black History Month, today we mourn the passing of a Black history icon, Lerone Bennett Jr., the former executive editor at Ebony magazine, died Wednesday at age 89.
Dorothy Tucker talks with his family about the man known by African Americans as the People's Historian.
I'm tremendously grateful to God for the gift of the life of Lerone Bennett Jr.
Joy Bennett is the oldest daughter of the author, historian, and former executive editor of Ebony magazine.
This is from Morehouse College. In about 1967, there was an honorary degree. Dad had about 15 honorary degrees from almost all the black colleges and most of the white ones.
As an author, Bennett gained international recognition for his book, Before the Mayflower. It tells the history of African Americans before slavery.
It made us proud. We weren't depicted as caricatures. We had a story to tell, and we made vital, contributions.
But Bennett was best known as the voice of Ebony magazine, where he worked for more than 50 years. He retired in early 2005, but returned that summer when Ebony founder John Johnson died. Bennett was asked to write the tribute. That's the last time I interviewed him.
I want to deal with the changes Ebony has helped to spark.
What do you want people to remember about your father?
He gave his life to black people, and because of him, we have a much better opinion of ourselves, that we have a much better life.
Ebony CEO Linda Johnson Rice called Bennett the guiding light for the editorial vision of Ebony. The Bennett family is still working on funeral arrangements. Wow. So he covered with Ebony Magazine so many other leaders, but he himself was one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he not only wrote the stories, he was a part of the stories because he was so involved with civil rights and wrote, he was amazing. He really was. It's a big loss.
Thanks, Dorothy.
I thought I was too busy to learn a new language, but as you can see, I like to make the most of my time.
One of the missions of history is to serve as a unit of a people. See, if you were cut off now with no memory of your past, we'd be lost.
Although it seems unbelievable today, blacks were among the slave owners. Some bought white people in America as early as the 1640s. This shows that in earliest America, there was equal treatment for whites and blacks according to class.
Today, unfortunately, we're talking generally about lies agreed upon. We're talking about a story which has been put together, ignoring the contributions of most of the people in the world.
I'm Tony Brown. In a moment, his story. But when it comes to the question of how does this search affect blacks and whites and the relationship of the two, you talk to Lerone Bennett Jr., senior editor of Ebony Magazine and author of the historical classic Before the Mayflower. What are we talking about when we talk about history as we know it in this society?
Today, unfortunately, we're talking generally about lies agreed upon. We're talking about a story which has been put together, ignoring the contributions of most of the people of the world, most of the people of the world of color. And so, unfortunately, we've gotten into a thing of trying to interpret history from a European perspective, from a white perspective. In America, we talk about American history, and we're talking generally about white American history. And I said often, that we glibly talk about American history, but American history, in fact, does not exist yet, and will not exist until we go back to the beginning and take the contributions of black people, of the Native Americans, the Indians, and of white Americans, and blend them together into one great story of what happened in this country.
That was the opening for our book discussion. Just wanted to show you some historical clips because I believe that clip was in 19 something, the last one. And I wanted to make sure that that was the opening for our book discussion. So if you're coming, we're looking forward to you being a part of this. If not, maybe you'll join us at another time. So we'll be back midway and then we'll have a close out. So talk to you later. Hey, it's Wanda. I'm back. This is the 2024 MLRG Life and Style June tour stop, and we're having a book discussion. And the book that we're discussing is Before the Mayflower by Lerone Bennett. So we're at the halfway mark, and I said I would check back in, and I am about to play another clip, so I'm going to share that with you all.
Then, and to a very great extent now, you were challenged to write about everything. You were challenged to write about entertainment, politics, economics, world affairs. We did not have specialists then. I mean, sports. We have some people on the staff now who are strong in sports. We have some people who are strong in fashions, but in general, we expect associate editors, especially, to be able to write about anything. And at the beginning, I wrote about everything, literally everything, and enjoyed it.
But then it moved beyond your simply writing about it. You developed a particular style and a particular specialty and a way of looking at things historically that was really extraordinary.
Well, I appreciate that. It goes back to the whole thing I had about history all my life, and two things about it quickly is one, really, I've always had a sort of different idea about journalism. I don't buy in to the traditional American idea
of journalism. I've always believed, since I was a crazy little boy in Mississippi, that a journalist covers not only the crime beat, but he covers the theater. He covers Martin Luther King Jr., he covers politics, he covers economics, he covers Jamaica. And Bob and I, to go back when I talked about it, I covered the Atlanta University players, I covered sports. I've always believed in, I guess it's more or less a French or European idea of journalism, where you write history one day and you write entertainment the next day. And so I've always been wedded to that idea of journalism, and I always tried to do it. Fortunately, here at Ebony, that was the tradition. You did different things. And the big break for me came in roughly the end of the 50s, after the Supreme Court decision, beginning of the 60s. Oh, what a great period in my time and in the time of our times. Mr. Johnson, in fact, had the idea. He said that, there's a feeling out there that people want to read more African American history, and you just say, who can do more pieces? Well, I had been studying history, and I go back to that since I was this little boy in Mississippi. So I said I can, and I wrote the first part of what became Before the Mayflower, and we put it in a magazine every month, and it ran for a year or so. And then we put it in the book, and it became one of the best-selling Black history books of all times. But that was the beginning of our Black history thing. And
why do you think there was that response? Why do you think it was successful from the very beginning? It grew and grew and grew, as you pointed out.
I think two things. One is, at this great turning, I don't know how you feel what people want and who are not expressing. Black people themselves wanted to hear more about themselves. They wanted a new sense of themselves. And that just simply came out in Montgomery. That it was already there. It came out in Montgomery. I think the feeling was there. And I think the articles we did helped that, in the sense that I've tried in those articles, and I've tried ever since, to make history dramatic, human, and readable. I tried to dramatize it. And to a certain extent, I guess we were lucky and fortunate to do it, but that was our aim. Most people have the idea, even to this moment, oh, history, oh my goodness, I don't want to go to this history class. They're talking about dates, and they're talking about dead people, and they're wrong. It's so exciting, the most exciting thing I can think about. And I tried to dramatize it, and to make it part of a story, and to make people understand it's not something that happened in the 19th century. It's going on right now in the hood, and you're a part of it. So we were lucky and come and putting all those things together at that juncture in our history.
That was another clip, and we're going to continue our discussion. So I'll be back to close out within the hour. Bye. Okay, I'm back. We are winding up our June tour stop, which was a book discussion, and the book's title was Before the Mayflower. I said Mayfire. Mayflower by Lerone Bennett. And we had a lively discussion. I always have a great time with my participants. I'm going to switch around so we can just say a few things. Hey, ladies. So
I enjoyed it. It was great. I learned a lot, especially about Haiti and their revolution.
Yes.
So thank you for inviting me. Thank you for choosing the book too.
Thank you for
I appreciate it.
Thank you for participating. I'm so glad you were able to make it. Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity. Always learning about history helps us understand our current circumstance. So thank you for connecting those dots for us, and wonderful book.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for having the book and showing one more time, Fatima. That was the book.
Take the blur off.
Oh.
One more again.
There we go.
There it is. Before the Mayflower, a history of the Negro in America. It says 1619 until 1962. So that was the years that was covered in that book. It was really enlightening. It's some things that for me I was able to put in context, because chronologically I can't always place stuff. So like, okay, that happened in the 1700s versus the 1800s versus the 19. It's really good to be able to listen to the book. I really enjoyed it. So I actually gonna also show you our calendar over here. So remember the 2024 MLRG Life and Style Tour Stop. We have all the schedule posted on our website, all of the dates. Our next activity will be spades. And so that is our July tour stop, which is Friday, July the 19th at 7 p.m. In August, we'll have bingo again, which will be Friday, August the 16th. Look, that's Fatima's thing. And just so you can get ready, the next book's title is Faces at the Bottom of the Well by Derek Bell. And so you have 3 months to read the book. It is going to be discussed on Sunday, September the 22nd. And it's going to be in the afternoon again at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for my family across the country, because I know that I have a few people in different time zones. But I really am so glad to finish the half of the year out with these ladies. And we have a whole 6 months coming up. So if you want to be a part of our activities, don't hesitate to go to, we have a collection where you can go in on Eventbrite, but you also can go on to metropolitanlivingrealtygroup.com and to our tour page, and all of the remaining tour stops are there, and you can register, and that way you'll get the information sent to you by email. Okay, so I hope you enjoy your weekend thus far, and I'll see you soon.